I think Emily did that.
Great,
Apologize.
great. So again, briefly for the recording, my name is Jenny Jordan, and I am with Healthcare Policy and Financing. I oversee supported employment and benefits planning services. I'm here with my colleague Adam Tucker and Emily Reddick in the background helping us on the webinar pieces today. We're going to be going over the outcome-based payment model, kind of why we're doing it, what we're expecting it to look like in the future, and having opportunity for some feedback on those concepts. Next slide. All right, so general agenda. First, we just want to say thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you taking time out of your Monday afternoon to be with us. We are going to just do some brief housekeeping, give a little bit of background, and then get into the good stuff. Design and updates related to job development, job coaching, and milestones and incentive payments. And we're also going to touch on the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation's or DVR's order of selection and how we're anticipating that to impact our services. One of the things we're going to be doing through this meeting is some polls. So to get us warmed up with that, I'm going to start a poll off. We want to know kind of who's here in the room with us, what your experience is, and we're excited for that opportunity. So while that is kind of running in the background, we can go to the next slide, which is our housekeeping slide. So we all are pretty used to these virtual environments at this point. I want to remind folks, if you could please stay muted unless you're presenting or asking a question. If we notice that you're not muted or if there's background noises, we might jump in and mute you just so that we can have that clean recording and everybody can hear. Please feel free to use the chat. That's going to be our mechanism for you to type in questions or provide comments or feedback. Adam and I will be answering questions in the chat or addressing them verbally as part of the discussion. We will have some dedicated stopping points for questions throughout this presentation. If you would like to ask a question verbally, please use the raise hand feature so that we can keep track of who's waiting. And if you click on, to get to that, if you go to the React feature on the bottom of the screen, you'll see a raise hand feature, and that's what we can kind of use for that. So with that, looks like we've got a good amount of folks that have chimed in. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this poll, and then we'll be turning it over to Adam.
All right. So, hey everybody, again, my name is Adam Tucker and I work with Healthcare Policy and Financing, and I kind of look for home and community-based policy specific around supported employment. So first thing we want to do is just kind of set the background of, because really the background is really the foundation on what this new model is built on and the reasons why we're making these changes. So Colorado is an employment first state, and in that, the belief is that all people are capable of working. There is zero exclusion. That those jobs mean real jobs for real wages, and that no matter the disability type or the severity of that disability, people have a place within the work world if they choose so, as long as they're also getting the right kinds of support, and ensuring that it's a job that really fits for them. So um, part of what we've done with this employment first piece is that a huge piece of that is really making sure that we're building support systems that not only really support the member in achieving those outcomes, those competitive, those integrated those job kinds of outcomes, those career outcomes, but that the system also supports our providers and the providers in really making sure that they can implement best practice and that that best practice itself will lead to the outcomes that we want. And so we really want to make sure that we're building these systems to really be able to do that and in combination with you guys and or with providers and members and advocates. And one of the things that we do within that is that we want to make sure that that framework is consistent across both Division of Vocational Rehabilitation and home and community-based services. We want those things to be able to interact so that it's a more seamless and smooth kind of process, and that the focus can be more on the individual and supporting them and their independence within the job place and their success at really learning those job tasks and becoming skilled in those things so that they can continue to grow and they can continue to have more and more autonomy within their career. And so really it is about building these state levels and making sure that these different service systems are combining, because it really is, we can't just call ourselves this employment first state. We really have to make sure that the access and the resources are there, and again, not just for the member who we're all working for and we're all investing to make sure that they can be successful in the work area, but a huge part of that is making sure that the providers and the support systems that are there in place to help that person be successful, that you guys or that those providers have those resources. Sorry, I saw the poll and I saw that there was a large number of providers here, so I'm trying to get that out of my head. But that's one of the big things. And so with that, what we've done is over the years we have created this sequencing of services with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. And so really this is the basics of really what we're looking at now and kind of our current model, right? So the current model is that referral is made to VR or DVR, and that at that point, Medicaid and home and community-based services can really kind of step in almost temporarily to really get that person off the ground and ready to go work with DVR. And then you work with DVR and that person becomes stable in their job and they're getting that success, making sure that that job matches right. And then they come back and we get that long-term job coaching support and services through the home and community-based waivers. And I do believe we have a poll on this one, right, Jenny? Cool. So we're going to pop this poll up. I also have to apologize really quick, guys. It is pouring in Colorado Springs. It just started, and it's getting loud. So you may not hear it, but I may be talking louder just because I'm trying to hear myself. So. Okay.
The poll is launched. So part of what we're gauging is just what folks' familiarity is with this concept of sequencing between HCBS and DVR services. So it looks like we're about 75% of people have responded so far. So I might go ahead and end the poll and share it here. So general takeaways here is many people are familiar or very familiar. So a lot of folks might be doing this service and are given that record, and some folks it's maybe new to them and they're learning. So welcome, we're glad you're here. And if you ever have questions about this, please reach out to us. We're happy to answer kind of case by case basis kind of things as they come up as well.
Absolutely. So one of the things we really do want to point out, especially as we're thinking about employment first, is that this isn't a way of requiring people with significant disabilities who are waiver members and requiring them to go to work. That's not what we're talking about. What we know is that work is a social determinant of health. And what that means is that when people are working and they're engaged in their community and they have that valued role in community, their life is better. The things that the freedoms that come with that, the pathways out of poverty, all of those are a big piece. And one of the ways that the system or the Medicaid system itself is rewarded by supporting people with becoming more engaged in work in their career is that it actually does save Medicaid money. So there is this, it's this push and pull, right? So it's this, we really are following how do we help people with significant disabilities enter and be successful in the workplace and strive for independence. But as we do that, we also as a state save money. So it's an exciting place to be. So what's the issue right now? Why do we need to be changing this? And so we really want to just kind of go over some numbers. And one of the big pieces is that as you look at what's the usage of supported employment on the SLS and DD waivers, is that we're still seeing about 86% of those members not engaged in support, or I mean in work, in community engaged work where they have the opportunity to grow and to thrive in their career. And so as we know that work is a social determinant of health and how important it is for people to be able to go and work and be successful at work, we are and we want to be committed to trying to make this a better system. And so as we sat down and we were really looking at all of these pieces, one of the things or one of the realizations that you start to realize is that this traditional model that we currently have, this traditional fee for service where we pay for a service for every 15 minutes, really puts everybody in the system at a disadvantage. And what it does is it doesn't allow for things like fading. It doesn't allow for better independence for the individual. It doesn't really set providers up from that front end investment piece from the state level to allow the flexibility and the different best practices to be truly implemented and utilized to support the individual or the member so that they can be successful. It really is just we pay, we pay, we pay, we pay without really any community sense of what those outcomes are. Not to say that we all don't work towards outcomes, but that community integrated employment fee for service can really get in the way. And it can actually, through a lot of what we've been seeing, is it can actually put providers at a disadvantage and makes it to run programs like this, the longevity wise, that this becomes more and more difficult. And so therefore, supported employment isn't necessarily brought to the forefront because it's so hard to financially be able to support it and to support that member while working through it. So what we did is we sat down and we really started to think about this, and we were able to secure some funding through the state legislature, which was to do a pilot. And this pilot was really focused on how to create and do outcome based payments, and really looking at the different types of workflows that are within our system. Right. So we have the job development workflow. What does that look like? How does that job development work in with DVR and their job development, their job placement? How does that then interact with job coaching? And then how do we support job coaching so that when somebody has a really good job match, that the provider is looks at it as an investment and isn't taking a hit financially as they're fading out, and supporting the member in becoming more independent, but at the same time allow that flexibility for providers to be able to engage and to be there to support the person when they really need it. And so as we work through this, we ran into PHE or COVID times that really kind of threw this pilot kind of up in the air and exactly what we were going to do with it. We got some additional ARPA money, and then we started to see that in reality. Jenny, do we have a poll question here? Cool. We're going to stop to poll question, and then we're going to talk about what we found out in this pilot.
Yeah, so this poll question has to do with kind of to what degree were you aware of the supported employment pilot? As Adam described, it's kind of been in the works since 2019, but it was a pretty small select group that was directly involved, though the word was out there a bit. So just getting a sense of who in the room was aware of it, and kind of what this background might be able to give if you guys have additional questions too. That's helpful to
Yes.
know.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, the funding for this pilot was very small. And so we're talking less than $1 million a year. And so when we're talking about services and different things like that, it was really about identifying and testing out very specific best practices and how that all fits together. And so that's a little bit more about that. Um,
All right. I'm going to share those poll results. Thank you all for your participation. Um, by and large, it's not something people know much about. And again, if you weren't kind of directly involved in the pilot, you might not have been. So please don't feel like, gosh, I'm really behind the eight ball on this, or I didn't know what was going on, or anything like that. That's not the intention. The hope is just hopefully to build some confidence. If we've been looking at this for over 5 years now, building on it, if evaluating, improving, and that's what we're going to be using as a baseline for what we're going to be showing you going forward.
So through this pilot, what we also found was we had more than 30 participants in it, but we had a really good base of 30 participants that were in it for that utilized the pilot for at least 12 months. And these members came in at different points in time. So it wasn't like all 30 members started July 1 and everything ended June 30th. No, they came in at different times, even during different years. But what we found with these 30 participants is that as compared to what was also happening to peers in the waivers, that over that 12-month kind of period, that their independence, that on the job independence, where that job coach has faded out and they're able to engage by themselves, actually rose by 8% as compared to 2.5% within the general waiver population. And that as that fading occurred and that started to roll out, that what we actually saw is that members started to get more and more hours quicker. And that doesn't mean that the providers weren't there to support the individual. It just means that there was room to start to fade and to start really pushing for that independence. And what really kind of came down to and what we really found and saw is that if you really trust the individual and you support them in really finding that good job match where they can be successful, that these kind of models, these outcome-based models, increase the employment outcome for them and that success. So this is what's really, really exciting. So with that, what happened is that last year, the healthcare policy and financing, we went through the budget request through the legislation, utilizing that pilot, having some additional conversations with some of our big stakeholder groups like the Colorado Association for People Supporting Employment First and different things like that. And we were able to successfully guide a budget request through that legislative process to be able to actually take that pilot and start to implement it in both the DD and SLS waivers. And so what we've been doing since that point in time is really working to ensure that we are getting the feedback that we need from stakeholders from all different parts and walks of life to both get into the nitty-gritty, but to also understand the background. So like what is our federal partners going to say? What are our other state partners going to say? What is DVR going to say? How do we bring all of that together? But then also, how do we connect with advocates and members and providers to actually get into some more of that nitty gritty? And then finally, how do we come in these kinds of meetings to make sure that everybody who wants to know can really at least understand the overview and how it may affect what they're doing in their role within the work that we're doing. And so with that, what we did is that we really identified a couple of pretty significant partners. One is the Employment First Advisory Partnership, which is part of DVR. And in that's a group that also goes back as far as this pilot. It stands for Employment First Advisory Partnership, and it is a legislatively mandated group that sits both advocates and state departments to come together and to build out these kinds of supported employment type of service delivery systems to make sure that we're moving as a state in the right direction. We're also continuously using the Colorado Association for People Supporting Employment First, who has been super instrumental in actually helping us and really breaking down, okay, what does the community need to know? How do we start thinking about this implementation and pulling it together and pulling and making sure that people are talking about this, they know it's coming and what's happening with it. And then finally, we've been working with the Alliance and specifically with a group of providers in there who have extensive history in employment first, as well as implementation of supported employment policies and practices, and really working through the policy level, really trying to figure out in ensuring that this model is going to work for providers so that it can then work for and then can also work for the members, because this is about making sure that those best practices are kind of put into place, so that the model itself kind of moves forward, and that's where we're going right now and next is doing those pieces. So, but do we want to stop for questions real quick?
Yeah, we have a couple questions in the chat, Adam.
Cool. Emily, where should I start?
The first question I can get you oriented. It is, did this service cover the entire state of Colorado?
If you're talking about the sequencing, it does. It does cover the entire state of Colorado.
I think the question
And
might have been in relation to the pilot, though.
Oh, yes. So the pilot did stretch from both northern Colorado all the way down to southern Colorado. We had about four different providers who worked both in the metro area, but also then had some folks out in those rural areas. I'm going to tell you right now, um, we did not get as much information about rural areas as we did about metro areas, and that's one of the reasons why the APSI and the Alliance kind of groups are so key to us, is because we're really been able to actually fully engage with different rural providers and frontier providers to really think about how this would affect those different kind of economies and different things like that. So hopefully that answered the question. Cool.
We have one other question about the pilot. Did the pilot cover participants that had a wide variety of needs, including severe needs that require one-on-one support for impulsive behaviors, medical needs, or inability to comprehend instructions for safety?
It did. And what was cool about it is that as the pilot providers themselves got more and more comfortable with the actual model, what they were able to do was actually become more flexible within the organization, and that made it easier to be able to support people with higher support needs. And then we also have some other things that Jenny's going to talk about right next to help maybe fill in some of those gaps, because I know that you guys are probably like going, well, but what about everybody who can't always fade out to this right thing and all of that kind of stuff? Hang with us, because we are going to talk about that, and you'll kind of see how that all kind of fits out. Yeah. Christine, I'm seeing our rural areas are different beasts in finding employment for our clients. It absolutely is. Yes, completely agree with you. This model is more about making sure that you have the front end resources, significant front end resources to help support that, as one piece to that. So yes, and then there's also other ways to, as rural providers hop in, and make sure that if we're not catching everything, that we're still getting your feedback as well. So cool. Thank you, Vicky. Okay, I'm gonna hand it back over to Jenny, who's going to look at kind of the design piece.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. So Adam was able to paint some really great broad stroke pictures in terms of concepts, in terms of kind of history and the pilot. What we're going to dig into next is kind of a little bit more of the nitty gritty. So like when we're talking about this outcome-based payment model, what are we talking about? So next slide, please. So first area we're going to do a bit of a deep dive in is specifically related to job development as a service. We're looking at it through the lens of kind of career planning and exploration. So it's going to have a little bit more maybe focus than it's had previously, but always striving towards how do we help set people up to get a job that they can maybe enjoy and excel at. And we're always going to be leveraging the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. And we'll be talking more about how that dovetails towards the end. So specifically what we're going to be talking about on the next couple slides is specifically to the waiver supported employment. So it's available in the DD and the SLS, the Supported Living Services, and the Developmental Disabilities waiver. So recognizing within this that some folks are going to be in different spaces when they get started. And so we wanted to have a mechanism so folks that were ready to hit the ground running could be supported in doing that, kind of quick up and going. We're calling that kind of rapid career engagement. So those might be folks that have had a job before or wanting just to switch some, like I have got a job, I want to do a different job, or I've been doing this thing, or I took some time off and now I'm ready to jump back in. So that's available to folks, but also recognizing that some folks who don't have work experience or haven't had success in jobs in the past and maybe really never had that opportunity to find a job that they could find satisfying, fulfilling, and things that they could really succeed at. And so we want to expand and give a little bit more focus for those folks. And we're calling that career path exploration. So let's look at both of those. So first up, we've got kind of that first track. Go on, next slide. Great. So the rapid career engagement. So again, these are for folks that are like, I'm ready to jump in. I've got like a resume maybe that I've had from past positions. So for this track, we are looking that they've got this, the referral with DVR is in the works, but similar to the sequencing now that we can do that Adam spoke of, the waiver can cover some job development activities prior to voc rehab, kind of getting to that point of plan and the point where they can pay for job development services. So within this realm, we're looking at, you can update like resumes, identify jobs to pursue, help connect the person with a benefits planner if they haven't had that recently at least, and then also a component of vocational self-advocacy. So really like, what is it that you're going to need? How do we like get things ready to go for you? So we're looking at just kind of a quick overview, get to know that person, get to know their interest, kind of what would you need to fill out an application or update a resume or create a resume, and then you can kind of get going. So we are looking at a kind of an abbreviated profile perhaps for this to kind of guide people through what are some of the things you might want to collect for this person, but wanting to keep it flexible enough too that as that supported employment professional can kind of get a gauge of where's this person at, what do they need help with at this point in time, how can we get things kind of moving forward so that when DVR is set to engage their funding, that person can kind of really hit that ground running. So that's kind of the component with like rapid career engagement. It's going to look maybe in similar ways to what might be currently happening, what we hope is happening, getting to know that person. But the whole concept with this is having outcomes and paying for those outcomes. So that's where we're going to look to see, okay, what's that like profile, or what is it that you updated and you moved forward? So it's going to be things that you can kind of demonstrate. I did this. And again, it's likely going to be through specific documentation that you can then show, and then we can release the payment. Let's go to track 2 next. This is that career path exploration. So this is again recognizing that some people maybe don't have work experience or haven't had real successful job placements or connections in the past. One of the things we've been reflecting on is, well, what is it that people with IDD, because those are the waivers that supported employment currently serves, what is it that they might need? What are some barriers that they might be experiencing related to accessing employment or exploring employment? And so one of those areas we decided to focus on was what we're calling career survey. And this is an opportunity for that person, for other people on their team, family members, host home providers, kind of whoever, to meet with a supported employment professional to kind of say, well, what is employment? Like, what is the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation? What can we expect if we work with them? What is competitive integrated employment, or CIE? Recognizing that that's not something that people talk about that often. It can get, I guess, more involved, like those of us who are doing it day in and day out. It feels like it's real easy, but if you're coming in from the outside, it might feel really confusing. And so wanting to meet those folks where they're at, kind of talk it through as a team. What are some of the concerns that you have about a job? What has maybe kept you from considering work in the past? And what can we do to kind of help in that? So one of those areas that we know is often a barrier for folks is saying, well, I don't want to lose my benefits, or I'm concerned about my pay, like what my paycheck would do to my benefits. Well, within the DD and SLS waivers, we now have benefits planning. So part of this career survey service might be helping point folks to that benefits planner, getting them connected so that they can do that in depth. So for you as a single person, what benefits are you getting? And then let's walk that through. If you were to work, what would happen? And some of it might show I would actually have more money in my pocket if I'm working, even if, say, that SSI check, the supplemental security income, if that check were to go down, but I actually have more money in my pocket. So that's kind of the career survey. It would be kind of maybe like a shortened amount of time, let's say maybe a 2-hour kind of equivalent, but we would be paying again for that outcome of that supported employment provider showing documentation. I met with this team, this is what we discussed, and this was kind of the outcome. Either, yep, we're going to get them connected with Voc Rehab, they're going to continue in that journey, or they're saying, not now, not yet. But we can kind of catch it so those conversations can be happening and people can get real information and have it tailored for those questions that they specifically have as a person or as their team around that person. The second area that we're looking at is going to be an official career profile. This is one that we would say, gosh, you're on your way to Voc Rehab, you got that referral in. Again, they might still be working on intake and eligibility pieces. But we want to really do this like deep dive, like who is this person? What are they interested in? What's their work experiences, their volunteer experiences? What's communication preferences, styles? What accommodations might they need? So really giving a focus and working on getting to know that person. And then the deliverable or that outcome is going to be the completion of that profile. So once that agency completes that profile with that individual, that agency can then collect a payment. So again, these are all going to be kind of flat rate payments that are kind of the equivalent of a multiple hour. So this profile might be the equivalent of like 15 hours of our current rate. But you'll just get as a lump sum. But it's going to give a little bit more focus to what we're wanting providers to be doing in that kind of exposure for that person, giving that direction. Then the third area of the second track is career exploration activities. Again, we would expect that they are with Voc Rehab on this. They're likely already have that career profile completed. But this is going to give an opportunity to say, well, what might that person benefit from in terms of career exploration or um, work-based learning experiences? Again, partly recognizing or reflecting on the IDD population. Many of them have not had the opportunity to look at different areas of work, to be asked, what kind of job would you want, or what do you want to be when you grow up? So helping provide opportunities for them to have more experiences in areas that might be of interest to them. Um, this again might end up being an evaluation of sorts of identifying, gosh, this person would really benefit from like a work-based learning, or this person would benefit from some vocational self-advocacy. And that's something that, again, the waiver could pay for, and then they're going to be working with Voc Rehab. We have shared this with many Voc Rehab folks, and they're pretty excited about it, especially the direct line counselors, because they're like, gosh, it's going to be great if somebody can walk in with these kinds of tools, that we can get to know them through these tools. We can jump in with questions where before we were maybe just starting cold. So we're excited for that perspective. But we do have a poll question for this. And what we're after with this one is to kind of get a sense of, when you're considering the folks that you support, which of these job development services do you think they would likely use? And we know that you work with a wide variety of people, so kind of think about all of them as you're answering this. So again, that rapid career engagement is going to be that track one. Just help me get stuff pulled together that I can start filling out applications or updating resumes, kind of moving forward. The career survey is the let's talk about work, DVR. And then the career profile is the get to know you. Let's get some of your information on paper that can be used by you, your employment professional, Voc Rehab. And then that career exploration activities of what's out there in the world. What can I know with this? So I'm going to just pause there for just a moment. Let the poll questions
And Jenny,
kind of come in.
Jenny, there's a couple of questions that have come in that I think would be
Sure.
this is perfect to ask
Okay,
now.
let's do it. Yeah.
So Kristen asks, how did the pilot agencies deal with waiting for reimbursement over time? And if do you want me to take that one, Jenny? I
Sure.
can
Go ahead.
share. So what happened in the pilot was this process actually wasn't as utilized as much as we did when we get into job coaching. So part of what we did is we got some feedback around this, and one of the big concerns is how do we do that? How do we wait around long enough for this reimbursement to come? And so there's a couple of different things that we're working on. One is that, like you see with this, is that they really are three different bubbles, and so these are not supposed to all take a bunch of time, but as you're working through the bubbles, there'll be a reimbursement for each step. So it's not all just it's little outcomes that will lead to that bigger outcome, if that makes sense. The other piece to this is that we also have hopefully some ability to what's the best way to say this? So a lot of this also is having more and more folks as they're working through, that you have people that you can also work with, so that you can be building up from that level as well. So there's some tricks and some trades in this. We will get more information, because I know that's a huge piece of this for everybody, is how that is. But one of the big things is that we will separate that outcome-based payment kind of where you are. Also, if the person gets picked up with DVR sooner, we also don't want everybody to just like, oh, well, that doesn't work. Okay, so next question, because now I'm bleeding both questions together. So the next question is from Becky. So everything you're saying, they get in the discovery process with DVR. How does this work? For the passing off to DVR, how do we need to get Discovery certified? So I'm going to say you don't have to get Discovery certified, but Jenny, do you want to dig into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we're making a distinction that this is not specifically customized employment. We're saying this is kind of best practices for everyone. So if you were going with voc rehab and doing a customized employment track, then you would need to follow their expectations in terms of certification for discovery. That's still holding true. Part of what we're saying is this is going to be beneficial for everybody. So looking at best practices, let's do like this, the profile, for example. These are the sorts of things that would be really helpful to know if you're working with somebody on one of those IDD waivers. What DVR is also pretty excited about is if this process might actually help them in identifying who might be a good candidate for customized employment and maybe getting them on that track sooner, that we're excited about. The reality is with this career exploration activities, with the way we currently have kind of the funding allotted, if you will, um, there's not there's not going to be a lot that we can pay for. There's not going to be a lot we can cover. So that's where it might be a little bit more of like an inventory of what would this person need, because we still will need to leverage voc rehab. So again, you might have more going in when DVR is ready to engage and be able to pay, that you can be like, gosh, I really think this person would benefit from a work-based learning experience. Can we work on that? Rather than currently, I think DVR is starting at the very beginning and they don't even know what this person needs. So hopefully that helps address the question. If it didn't, Becky, happy to try again with additional information.
The next one is a quicker question. So it's from Scott, and how does how do these relate to members that already have jobs and needs ongoing support at work with a job under a supported employment group? This is not affecting supported employment group or that system itself. So that system will remain how it is right now. So continuing to support people in group employment, while we're implementing this, that stuff really isn't going to change that much. So, and then
And
Sarah, yeah,
if I
go for
may,
it.
just to add on, if you have somebody who's currently in a group employment setting and they're interested in getting an individual job, they could do both. They could start with the job development and get going with voc rehab while they're still working in that group employment setting.
Actually, Jenna leads right into the next question, which Sarah is asking about. What about career development, career kind of engagement? People can be working, they can be within both, be in a job coaching thing and still go back and re-engage with this so that that can be built out and so that people can start to explore in different ways. And then you guys can, again, support them with going through the process and getting that new job and working through that and all of those pieces. We really do want this to be focused on the long term, as well as making sure that we're also getting people into good jobs for good pay kind of idea, real work for real pay. And then where does the employer training happen in the process developed? Conditions for the people to be successful? Are there accountability measures for the employers or incentives to help employers see the value of supported employment? So real quick, guys, we are not statutorily allowed to pay incentives to providers to hire people with disabilities. So we're not allowed. So we cannot do that. But what we are also hoping is that through this, and Jenny, add anything you want to, but as you're working through this, that you're also working with employers and talking to employers and still utilizing the VR process to really be able to do that. One of the other good things is that, like the incentive payment that DVR has, where it's rapid job placements. Well, if we were utilizing this, one of the goals that we would be absolutely happy about and ecstatic about is that if this process really supported you as a provider in helping that member get to that rapid job placement piece, because a lot of this was already set up. This really should be in line with more like pre-employment transition services, where it's really that kind of basis. So
And I think just to touch on too, a lot of that employer support is going to be happening with the job coaching side of it, which is what we're going to be getting into next. Like yes to what Adam was all saying, but most likely that's going to be from a job coaching kind of perspective. From this job development perspective, what we're hoping for too is maybe identifying ahead of time what kind of accommodations a person might need and talking through with them, like, do you want to disclose to your employer? What would you like them to know at this point? Um, what accommodations might we be requesting so that you can be successful at work? Part of what we've seen is it can be really helpful to have those conversations with that employer from the beginning, and then that accountability and that general understanding is a little bit more on track, and kind of from everybody's perspective. So by doing these kind of let's get to know the person really well perspective is going to help in that job placement and hopefully in that employer relationship as well.
Awesome. Jenny, I think just for time, I think I can work on answering the questions in the chat if you want to keep going.
Yeah. So we'll just do a quick sharing the poll results. It seems like there's definitely a lot of interest in that career exploration activities. So really appreciate that feedback. And then also interest in that career survey and profile, as well as some folks say I can see that rapid career engagement being something that we would use. So kind of great news on that for us. Next slide. I kind of touched on this a little bit, so I'm going to kind of go a little quicker here, is that career profile. It's going to be something that's developed with that person, that job seeker, as well as that job developer or that supported employment professional. And then looking at things like communication preferences, their interests, their work and volunteer experiences, past accommodations, skills, comfort, and access to things like transportation, which we know is critical for employment, as well as evaluating like technology. So with that, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And I think in the meantime, do you want to pause here for more questions, Adam, based on what you're seeing in the chat?
I think we can hit one or two more.
And I'm also going to launch a poll question so people can kind of listen and digest as we're answering some more questions.
Cool.
This poll question is just kind of initial thoughts about having that standardized kind of profile and standardized form for people to use. So welcome your feedback there. Go ahead, Adam, with the chat. Sorry.
So, Mark, as far as how is this being marketed to potential employers, from the perspective of the model itself, it's more about how do we embed the support needed for you guys as providers to go out and talk to employers with the member, right? Because yeah, with we can't pay incentives and we can't and because it's so localized, it actually brings up a point I did want to make earlier, is that when you look at for all the rural providers in the room, when you look at our data, it shows that rural providers are much more advanced and skilled at supporting individuals and finding competitive integrated employment as compared to the metro areas. And I really do believe, as a person who's lived in rural areas for most of my adult life, that's because you kind of got to put it together. So, as far as some of that stuff, I also want to mention that rural providers, on some level, you guys might actually, from implementation of best practices, you guys might even be down the road a little bit further than some of our metro guys. So cool. Mark, did that help? Awesome. And then Judy, Mary Judy, the question is, most of the people we hear from need to begin with DVR to get benefits. Through my understanding that DVR does not support people accessing Medicaid or any benefits. The recipient must have some kind of public benefit to even be eligible for benefits counseling services. So, Mary, there's a lot to unpack there, and we don't have time, but I do want to state that that people can utilize Medicaid and DVR. DVR will work with you, even if you don't have Medicaid, and that benefits planning is available to at least our waiver members, and that's the best one that I know about. DVR has it as well. And as long as you are eligible for either the DD or SS waiver, you also have access to benefits counseling, as well as you're going through the eligibility process with DVR, you would have access to that. And then Christine, I believe the skills being taught within track 2 will be essential for our clients and to inform DVR more about the clients we serve. Many of the items listed are also part of the pre-ETS. Exactly. Christine, you broke our code. We're stealing this from pre-ETS, and we're just trying to make it more adult and more equivalent to folks in the adult world. And then Gail, which agencies will be responsible in informing a person the options they have in providing services? Some people receive long-term services in one POS and not realize they are other POSs who provide supported employment pieces. That is, Gail, that's a really good question. It's a really big question, though. I think there's a lot of question about how do we better recruit, how do we allow members better choice and better informed choice. We have a lot that we got to get to today, though. I really would love for you, Gail, to actually really engage with those APSI groups, as well as even the EFAP groups, and anybody who's worried about this, please do that, because this can be part of our training. This can be part of that broader communication, that broader piece that we're actually talking about, because not only is that training for other providers and for members, but it's also for case managers. So really making sure that we're all kind of being part of that is going to be big. And Vicky is in this chat, and she is the absolute APSI guru. So yes. Okay, I think we can keep going, Jenny. I think we're gonna keep going. Cool.
All right. So just for the sake of transparency and consistency here, kind of the poll results, hopefully you can see. So some identifying that adding some necessary structure and consistency, recognizing that it might be easier to train to. Also, some parts might not be necessary or might not be applicable to folks. It may not allow for a person-centered approach. And also some things like it just depends on what it is and how that relates to what I'm currently doing, which is completely fair. And just to echo what Adam was sharing there, is plugging in with that Colorado APSI group to provide input can be a really great space to plug in and give that sounding board. How is it that you're currently doing this work? How would this be that much different? Because it might be you're doing something really great that maybe everybody should be doing, and we can work that in. And so giving up some framework with that. All right, let's get to the next slides. So we're going to shift here to job coaching. Do you have something there, Adam? Okay, sorry, I thought you had your hand.
No, I was yelling at my computer.
Okay, so switching to job coaching. This one is a little bit more of a mind shift, kind of in that headspace. As Adam was sharing before, much of the current setup for services is a fee-for-service model. And when we're asking to build independence for people in jobs, when we're looking at how you fade back your time, and we're also paying fee for service, it's essentially asking the provider fade back and then have less money. And we're like, well, that's not really an incentive to do that. So in recognizing that, this was very much built on what we did in the pilot. So we've got a lot of data to support this, and many of the outcomes that Adam spoke to earlier was specifically related to this framework. So what we're looking at is that the initial job retention, so from kind of 90 days, that they would get, hang on a second, part of what we're shifting to is doing it from not paying the number of hours that the provider is there. We are shifting to pay the number of hours that employee is working. So we're reimbursing the provider for the number of hours the person in services is working. And that initial job retention is going to be kind of the first 90 days. And that's going to be paid at kind of a high rate, kind of the equivalent of the hourly rate that we are currently doing. As time goes by and that person has their job for a little bit more, we're going to ratchet that down. So months 4 through 18 is going to be extended job coaching. The providers will still be paid for the number of hours that person is working, but it's going to be at a slightly reduced rate from that first 90 days. So it's kind of a ratcheting down. Once that person hits the 19-month mark, so they've had their job for a year and a half plus, it's going to go to a job coaching maintenance, which would be a flat rate. These are all going to be tiered out by their support level. So folks who are those higher support needs, there will be a higher reimbursement rate kind of throughout this process. So what we're hoping for is it really does encourage those providers to find good job matches for folks, to train them well, and to look for opportunities. Like, can we build in natural supports? Could we be leveraging technology in terms of reminders, or what's the next step in this process? Let's integrate those. But it gives you all some time to figure out what those things might be, in addition to that training that they might have gotten with when Voc Rehab was paying for the job coaching. This is all kind of in addition to that. And so what we're looking for is, let's see if we can get this person set up as independent as they can, that job coach to fade back. And as a provider, you're not having to worry about the nickel and dime of how many hours are we working versus anything. It's just you can kind of count on this revenue. Part of the hope with this model, and from a sustainability perspective, is you're going to want more people coming through. So as you're supporting some people in their jobs and they get to that job coaching maintenance phase, you're going to want to have some other people who are starting to engage with Voc Rehab and then are going through that initial job retention and extended job coaching periods. So again, we're hoping that it actually is going to open it up so more people can get employment support overall. Let's go and go to the next slide. So again, touching on this a little bit more, but we're looking at kind of that job coaching documentation. So a lot of this is going to be drawing some data out of what we're asking providers to do. So the good news is that we'll have the data kind of built in, and we won't have to ask people for extra data as we currently have been doing. So we are looking for the number of hours the member worked. We will still want to keep a pulse on how many hours and whether the job coach is meeting with them in person, or if they're doing like a phone check-in, etc. So we can kind of get a sense of what kind of supports are people getting. We will also want to know the job title and their employer. We're working out some of the specifics related to this, and this is something that we'll be working on with our systems teams as we're building all the infrastructure that will then support this model. But part of what we're looking at is, can we keep it simple? And I don't want to overpromise here, because we really need to talk to some of our systems folks to see what we can do. But our hope is, like, maybe it could just be like a one page, I fill it out, I turn it in. In terms of that job hours and how much is the person working, that might be something that you can get with a copy of their pay stub, or maybe it's you're taking a picture of their schedule, and then you just keep it for your records. This is something that's likely going to be if you were to be audited, we can come back and see, yep, it looks like the number of hours the person is working is lining up with the number of hours that we were paying out. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, and then workplace assistance. And actually, I'm going to, nope, I was thinking there was a poll here. I'm off. So for workplace assistance, so Terry, to your earlier point, when you're asking, like, well, what about some people who need one-on-one support, who have really intensive behavioral or support needs, we do have workplace assistance. That's not going away with this model. Workplace assistance is not job coaching, so we're going to be making that kind of distinction. And workplace assistance is designed to help support folks who need that one-on-one for valid safety concerns. Safety is fairly broad. Case managers do need to have a lot of information before they can authorize this particular service, but it's through the same lens that we've been talking about. Like, what's their job match? Looking for natural supports. Does technology have a role here? And if not, then we can still pay for somebody with that workplace assistance to be there with that person. And it might be a one-on-one continuous kind of support depending on that person's needs. So I think we have another question slide here, so we can pause.
Awesome. So we had one come in, and Jess, I'm wondering if you just hop to the question before we had a chance to answer it. But how's the tracking of hours the participant works? Again, we're looking at you guys as the providers to be able to report that, and then we will have a list of different things that we would accept as proof, and you would just need to be able to keep that on file of that person. So cool. And so I guess I didn't need to say all of that. And then Lisa, most of my folks can only work 8 to 12 and a max of 16 hours per week physically, and the factors of losing benefits. So how does the worker working more hours help them and the provider? So one thing, Lisa, I would say is that this really does open up and it allows the job developer, this whole model in general, really does open up and allow the job developer to support that person with really getting that benefits planning piece done, so that we can really make sure we understand from the financial side of things or from the public benefit side of things how many hours the person can work and what that kind of looks like. Are there other things out there that can be utilized to help the person work more? Those different types of things. As far as physical, I mean, some people that's what they can do, and that is absolutely okay. There's still nothing in here that says somebody can't work just 1 hour a month or 1,000 hours a month. It's not. None of this model is saying those pieces. It is just saying that we're shifting from paying for every hour the service is rendered directly to the individual, to moving towards, hey, we want to invest in this person. And the more they work, we want to make sure that the providers are given the resources to support that in a dozen different ways, including being there on site, but also including making phone calls, being able to meet with the person after the fact, to go through how their day was, to meet before a big staff meeting. So all of that now opens up a lot more, because you're not having to necessarily document that you're doing all of that, because it's about what the person and how many hours they're working is there. So anything you want to add there, Jenny? Before
No,
we have one more.
I just realized that I did have a poll. Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, that's all right.
Just in related to overall, just the feeling of job development. So I'm just gonna launch that. We can still go through some questions there.
So Terry asked, workplace system doesn't pay well. Will that change? Being a one-to-one with some folks can be grueling. Hiring for that is the same wage as SEC will be impossible. My experience is that people I've worked with really baffle most folks. Terry, we definitely hear that. I don't see the workplace assistance rate being adjusted up to meet that kind of level. However, there's other things out there that we should and part of this and part of really working with APSI is making sure that we're utilizing all of the resources. I understand that there's a lot of work, and a lot of sometimes people are not easy to work with. They're not good from that standpoint. Trust me, I mean, I've worked with those individuals in some of the most rural places that we can imagine in the United States. And so I do get how difficult this can be. But I've also seen people with significant disabilities who were quote unquote nonverbal, who were considered not to be able to do anything. I've seen them fade out and I've seen them be successful. And so it really is about making sure that the model can support that. And it's also making sure that the resources are there for everybody to understand how to implement good practices that lead to these really good outcomes. Because it's not just about fading, it's also about job match, and it's making sure that that job match and that fundamental piece is set up correctly to make sure that that long-term goal of really supporting somebody in their career and what they want to be able to do can be achieved, and that some of that fading out can be achieved. And we're also not talking about a maintenance level that says that you have to be at 0 hours. We really are still talking about time and place where fading can be really person-centered and looked at by the person, and making sure that all the resources are being utilized to not only support them in their independence, but also to support you guys as providers and making sure that you can provide those things. So yeah, this
This is
seems difficult for rural Colorado's with limited jobs, limited clients. Um, Becky, I hear you. I totally hear you. Jenny, do you want to say anything to that?
I'm just going to add on to the workplace assistance,
Yeah,
just to like, yes, to add everything Adam said, but also to call out that workplace assistance does have its own code, like old rate, and it's not near the SEC rate. It's quite a bit above that. So just to make sure that we're on the same page, that we're not suggesting people do SEC for workplace assistance, that it is its own category, and it's in the same ballpark as the current job coaching.
I think
It's
it's about
like $14 a unit, and that's the 15-minute increment. So just to make sure that people have that in their minds.
yeah, cool. Okay, next one. This seems difficult for rural cars, limited jobs and limited clients. Becky, totally. We want to make this I mean, we have been engaging with rural providers. A lot of rural providers, once we really dig into this, aren't as concerned about this. And so I would really invite you, one, to just reach out to Jenny and I so we can really talk. But also, again, guys, the biggest place that we can really do a lot of this building, and Jenny and I are there, Puff is there. It's not like we're just sicking everybody on APSI, but it really is this coalition of the Colorado Association for People Supporting Employment First, because that's where a lot of this training and a lot of this building is coming from. Sure, Becky. Vicky, could you put your stuff back in there? Would appreciate it. So, and then Joshua, a lot of landscape is dependent on the workplace accommodations that they have been agreed to, and if they are in effect. Josh, I totally agree with you with that. And part of that too is making sure that that job development side of things, and while working with VR, that those are being considered, and that those are being considered even before, and those are identified and considered long before the actual going out and doing job placement type of work. We really want to make sure that we're asking you guys to invest in the front end as much as in the job coaching end, because we know that these models, specifically for people with higher and higher support needs, they need that ability to have correct job matches. I've seen it in rural areas. I've seen it in non-rural areas. But when you can slow down and you can focus, and we're not talking about discovery, we're not talking about that, but really being able to utilize all the tools to really support the person in identifying those job matches, this back end stuff becomes um, uh, a lot more financially beneficial to the providers, in actuality with this stuff. So yeah, cool. It's me now, right, Jenny?
Yeah, we're shifting to you and want to keep us moving for time's sake, but just wanted to share this poll. A few folks that are like, sign me up right away. Some that are like, I'm encouraged, but let me think about it a little bit. Also, some that are like, I'm intrigued, but I have some reservations, and we welcome that dialogue and those questions. So going to turn it over to you, Adam, and we'll have more time for questions, hopefully, at the end.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So the last big piece of this is milestone and incentive payments. And so we really do want to make sure that we are helping and making sure that these milestone and incentive payments are really part of this overall process. And within that overall process, that they're coming at certain times that can be really beneficial to helping with career, helping with longevity on a job, all of those different types of things. So what we did was we had to put something into the budget request, but I am telling you guys that right now these are the things that are fully that are still way up in the air, because we really do want to ensure that we're actually making these milestone payments as something that, one, is doable, and two, is not going to be so crazy that you're having to run around and try to pull down the right documentation to do this and to do that and all of those different types of things. But also, how can we also support, as a whole provider agency within these milestone payments to really try to help with this transition? How do we help you with learning skills, making those transition to new practices if you guys haven't already done that? Those different types of things. And so again, we will have ways for feedback on this. We're getting to the nitty gritty, but stay tuned is really what I'm saying to these pieces, because these were basically our placeholders for our budget request, so that we knew that we had the authority to be able to build out good milestones and incentive payments. So cool. Okay, next slide. So that is the model, but what does this look like back with that DVR sequencing? So this is back with that DVR sequencing. And so again, we have the job development right at the top. We can utilize the rapid career engagement, even career pathway exploration, depending on really what that member needs. And then that should really be kind of enveloped in really supporting that person with getting to DVR, working with DVR, going through that DVR process, really focusing in on that really good job match, so that as the person finds stability and starts to come back to the home and community-based waiver supports, that they can then start to really engage with the job coaching and really start thinking about how to fade it out. One thing I want to reiterate about this is that, yes, there are different rates in each one of these, but they are rates that are tiered. So like right now, we have one rate for all of individualized job coaching. This will now have 7 rates or 6 rates, with a 7th being negotiated. So we'll have the same tiered rates for the first time. What the other thing that helps us do is we can then also work to, as we change the rate from 1 to 2, we know that people who have a higher support need may not be able to fade out as fast, and so we can adjust not only that rate has gone down, but we can adjust it based on what the average is for that cohort of people in how much fading out would be expected then. So you may see fading out on support level 1 at being much higher percentagely than you do at those higher levels. They're still not drastic, huge jumps, guys. We're really not saying that they are, but they are really designed and set up to make sure that focus on fading is there, and that we can really utilize all of that front end work to support of job match to really move forward. So, okay. So the next thing is questions, and then guys, there's a couple of things I really want to get through still. So, yeah, let's just do these, and then we'll hit that, because I also still want to hit order of selection and DVR, just so we're all on the same page about that, and then also timelines and stuff like that. So that's where we're going next. So the first one that I see is from Terry, and Terry, it looks like you put in the job coaching individual. Terry, I don't know what those rates are off the top of my head, so I'm sorry. Hopefully that was useful.
Those are straight off the rate sheet, the current rate sheet.
Okay, cool. So anyway, okay, so Dorothy, it appears that you are looking for more accountability from job coaches, and I think documentation is important when visiting and taking place. Work schedules, work time dates, daily individual progress is a part of the individual file and usually a part of discussion during service plan meetings and other meetings. Absolutely. So part of this will be that, and it's something we didn't get a huge chance to talk about today, but the documentation that we showed you guys was the data, was the actual, like, these are the numbers you're putting in here. But also part of this is we need to also have things like job fading plans. So just like we have that job profile, kind of, or that career profile in the beginning, we'd also have something that specifically tailored to job coaches so that they can start to help and work with the member to plan out what that looks like, and they have a way to document what's going on. Because I wouldn't say that we are necessarily wanting to hold case managers more accountable. It's more that we want to give them the tools that they can better utilize to help move the process through. Because at the end of the day, the job coach and the job developer are the members' biggest advocates when it comes to the vocational world. And we want to make sure that there's a pathway that we know works so that job coaches and job developers can be even more effective at what they're doing. That's a huge piece of this overall thing. So, and then lastly, Jennifer, would this still apply to current waiver members? We're going to get to that right now. So I'm going to keep moving. So timeline wise, we are truly moving into the build kind of place. That doesn't mean that we still don't have these conversations. When I say build, I'm talking about our computer systems. I'm talking about our billing systems. I'm talking about those different types of pieces. I'm also talking about waiver amendments, our work with the federal stuff. The thing is, guys, is that that takes a lot of work for us to do. At the end of the day, though, it's still very broad stuff. We still have to kind of, like, it's like the frame, and now we still have to kind of fill in that frame to really make sure things are working the way we need them to work. And so even though we're saying build, we're still also in, okay, we know these pieces, now we have this framework, let's fill in that framework. And that's why we keep mentioning that it's important for you guys to, if you can and you have the ability, is to engage with APSI or EFAP or any of one of those, because that's where we're going to get the information and really make sure that as we're filling this out, it's fitting as much as we can. So then in summer of 2026, or July 1 of 2026, we are projecting that this will go live. We will still have a full year to go into that full transition. The members that currently have jobs, they will transition to where they fit within that job coaching paradigm, but they will do that at their SCR. So it's not going to all happen at once. It's very much like CFC. I don't know how many people are working with Community First Choice right now, but it's very much in that vein. It's going to happen as they're going through their annual planning process. But we also want to make sure that you guys as providers, another one of the conversations we want to engage in here in the next 2 to 3 months is really how do we support providers in making sure that they're ready for this transition. And that includes how do we utilize the current fee for service system to help make sure this transition is ready to go when that person's SCR kind of comes up. So that's a huge part of this that we want to engage in over the next couple of months. So program implementation next, we want to ensure we still have to go and make sure everything we talked about today, and pretty much guarantee you that job development is pretty close, so is job coaching, but really kind of really big around the milestones. We really still have to make sure that they're going to fit into the budgets and that it fits into our overall authority. So we're going to be working on that. We're also going to be working with our federal partners to make sure that the waiver amendments are kind of going through. Again, we're going to finalize those milestone payments. And then all of that is really leading, and we're already working on it, on those provider trainings, case management trainings, member trainings, advocate trainings, all of those different types of things. And then also, how can we incentivize and help you guys with continuing to get that kind of training? So we're also trying to and kind of coming up with a system or ideas around that. And then finally, I think we all know, and if you have not heard, it is public that DVR, or Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, is going to be going on order of selection in January. One of the things that I want to really make sure that everybody understands is that we still don't know from the DVR perspective of where they're going to categorize the populations that we work with, where they're going to prioritize those folks. In the past, we've seen them prioritize them lower in the prioritization because they have access to home and community-based services. And other times we've seen them where our population is also prioritized higher. So once we know that, we'll know a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it really does not change what we need to be doing. So it's still the same process. You still make the referral to DVR. Case manager can authorize job development and job coaching depending on where they are. As long as that member is on that wait list, you can continue with home and community-based waiver services all the way through. The only difference is that when they come off the wait list, you need to support that member in engaging with them just to make sure there's nothing that DVR can't still cover. If somebody's flying and they don't really need anything, it's going to be a quick conversation. Everything is fine. Everything is going. But the way you protect yourselves as providers, as families, and as members is to make sure you have that documented. Hey, that we made this referral on this day. We got word that I got word that I was put on the wait list this day, and then 6 months or 7 months down the road, I'm doing great in my job, but DVR wants to talk to me. Support the person in talking with them, and then keep moving. So that's how that works in the current system. And then under the outcome-based model system, it's still basically the same thing. Still think about it as those three different workflows. So you have job development, DVR, job coaching, and we're just taking that middle workflow out. So it's just moving through this. As soon as we can connect anybody with DVR, because we also know DVR has lots of resources and also helps with the financial aspect of this. So we want you guys to connect with VR and make sure that VR is part of this as much as humanly possible. So, okay.
So with that, I'm going to launch a poll. Basically, at this point, kind of after hearing what we were proposing with the outcome-based model, how would you describe your organization's readiness to embark in this? So very much curious about where you're at. I know we weren't able to maybe hit every single question that was in the chat. I think we did our darndest. But please, if you do have questions, it's a genuine invite. Please reach out to us. If you're sitting there and you're kind of going, gosh, I don't see the people that I'm supporting in this. Like, let's chat, because we want to make sure that this is a model that can support folks, especially those with the more intense needs. So if you've got ideas, if you want to help paint a picture of what that looks like, and where you're seeing that those people might get stuck in this, or there might be a cliff of sorts, like, we want to have those conversations. So please do reach out. Just want to make sure we had time to put a plug in for that. Adam, I don't know if you had any other closing thoughts here.
Terry did have one question that I think we can answer in 1 minute. So Terry's question: if maintenance looks the same as phase 1 and 2, will the rate still be reduced? So Terry, actually the maintenance piece, it goes to a flat rate. So that flat rate is equivalency to about 18 hours of direct job coaching. So as long as the person has worked an hour and gotten the wage for being paid in that hour in a competitive integrated employment, you as a provider are eligible for that maintenance a rate for as long as that person has that job. And so that's kind of how that maintenance piece works really quickly. We only have like 1 minute left, so I don't want to go too deep. But Terry, everybody, please reach out to us individually, Jenny or I. Also, APSI, I don't know if anybody's going up to the Alliance, but I will be there on Wednesday if you want to talk. So anything like that. So please, 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 please. One, we need to hear from you so we don't mess this up. And two, we also want to be able to just talk with you guys so we can also make sure that we are aligning and getting the trainings done correctly. So, because we don't want anybody to be left behind. And when I say that, I mean that as members and providers. We don't want anybody left behind on this one. So, cool.
We
Okay,
did publish the poll. If you want to scan over it, seems like some people are ready. Some people are like, we need a change. Some people are like, we would need to do a major pivot. So again, please chat with us, especially if you're in that I need a major pivot kind of space. We want to hear from you.
absolutely. And Jennifer, please email us because I can absolutely answer that question. We'll also try to, anything we didn't quite get answered today, we'll try to get that information back out to everybody as well. So awesome.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
guys so
joining
much.
us. We will
Appreciate
be posting this to the website, and if you want to come back and hear from it, but then also reach out as you have questions. Thank you
Please.
so much.
All right. Thanks, everybody.